Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's Phantom in Japan, August 2019, fresh off the heels of G1. I am, of course, Green Phantom, a.k.a. JF, and this is the host, Dave Simon. What's going on?
Did you say JF?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What a loser.
I was like,
Jesus Christ.
How are you spelling Green Phantom? What are we doing here? I was confused.
You're a fuckface.
Sorry, man.
Anyway.
I'm a little slow. I'm still in vacation mode.
Yeah. All right, so
what's up? What do we have on the table?
We've got G1. What a tournament!
Recap the G1. What else do we have on the show today? We're going to talk about
the Super J Cup.
The Super J Cup, which is happening this weekend in Seattle and San Francisco and Los Angeles, and that'll be fun.
Should be fun.
And and then Royal Quest we will preview as well, which will be a New Japan event taking place next weekend in England, headlined by Minoru Suzuki challenging Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Yeah, the man who kept complaining that he was not in the G1. If you didn't watch his matches, so most of the G1, they always open up with a bunch of tag matches, triple tag matches and all this stuff, just for the people who aren't in tournament matches that night. And Suzuki was in pretty much every single one of them. And he beat the shit out of everyone. His own partners, all the young lions, before, during, and after matches, throwing guardrails, hitting people with chairs. It was just, it was fantastic. I love his character so much. He's just an angry, tough dude. And I love it so much that I can't look at his Instagram. Have you seen his Instagram stuff?
Suzuki?
Yeah, he's like posting shit about lattes and leather shoes and puppies and stuff. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I want the angry, tough-looking, scary dude.
Well, you can be an angry, tough dude and still enjoy a nice pair of shoes and a nice cup of coffee. Why not?
You got to see it. It's just not him.
He's cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I like him.
He's just cool. He's a badass, and he's got a nice fashion sense as well with those cool hats he wears. Suzuki is awesome. I love him. I'm really happy that he's going to be wrestling Okada for the title. I'm looking forward to that match. I was disappointed he wasn't in the G1. We'll talk about that match in a minute, but I want to stick with what happened in the G1. Kota Ibushi wins A block. Jay White wins B block, and Ibushi winds up beating Jay White in the G1 final to win the G1. And we're waiting to see what he's going to do, because you win the G1 and you can challenge for any title in New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom. And there's talk that Ibushi might challenge for the Intercontinental title on night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom, and then the IWGP Heavyweight title on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. So he might be main eventing 2 shows. I don't know how it's going to go. This is the first time Wrestle Kingdom is going to be 2 nights. And, of course, we're talking about this event not until January 4th and 5th of 2020, but that's kind of what the G1 sets up, right? It sets up your main events for Wrestle Kingdom. I guess we'll see Ibushi versus Okada for the IWGP title on either January 4th or 5th. What else we see, I don't know. We'll have to wait.
We'll see. There's many months ahead.
Yeah.
In my mind, summer's not over yet. I don't want to think about January.
Yeah, let's not think about the winter.
Let's not go there yet. Let's talk about this tournament. Well, one, in the final, I was surprised that Jay White lost to Ibushi. One, because his whole Bullet Club was behind him in this corner, and he pulled off such an amazing feat. He did what a lot of people. I find this tournament, it was about a bunch of people starting strong and then finishing slow, and then the other way around. A few people starting slow and then finishing strong. There was almost no kind of in betweens.
Jay White was one of those starting slow, finishing strong. Ibushi as well.
Ibushi, one of those starting slow, finishing strong. And then the other side, you had even Okada, or even John Moxley. Same thing. They started fast and then ended slow.
Well, if you look at Okada's tournament, he didn't lose except for the last night.
Yeah, but
he lost, or I guess no, he lost 2 matches. Yeah. He lost to Sonata.
Yeah.
And then he beat Evil, and then he went on and he lost to Ibushi. So Okada, I mean, he won every match except for 2 in the tournament.
But my point is, it was at near the end. Like it flipped up, and it was. I'm glad he lost those because it kept people alive. You know, during when you're watching it, you hate to have people eliminated so quick, and his couple of losses really left the door open for some people to alive. Like
the loss to Sanada was big because it kept Ibushi's chances alive in A block,
and I believe it. In A block, that's it.
Yeah,
and same thing. And in B block, when Moxley started losing, that was great too because he was running away with it and he was eliminating everyone. So him losing, kept Toru Yano alive and stuff, almost up until the end.
A lot of guys. It was down to 4 guys on the final night. It was down to Jon Moxley in B block. I'm talking about. It was down to Moxley, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto. I think it was. I don't know. Jay White, and Tetsuya Naito. Like it might have been 5 guys down to the last night. Definitely 4 in Moxley, Ishii, White, and Naito. Like they all had a chance to win, and the way it shook out with Juice Robinson beating Jon Moxley, getting his revenge, and eliminating him from the tournament, and then Jay White beating Naito, which was a huge, huge victory, which punched his ticket to the finals. It was really once Juice had defeated Moxley. It was down to Naito and White, and whoever won that match was going to win the B block. And Jay White won, which I was a bit surprised by. I thought it would come down to Naito and Ibushi in the end. It came down to Ibushi and Jay White.
But Naito was almost there.
He was almost there. He started slow too, but then he picked up towards the end.
If he had tied or beaten Jay White, he would have been there, right?
How big was the win for Will Ospreay on the final night of A block over Hiroshi Tanahashi?
It was good. I honestly, these days, whenever I see Tanahashi lose, I get upset. It hurts me.
Even to Will Ospreay, who's kind of the up and coming guy.
Well, that's almost more why, because I feel like I have a lot of things in common with Tanahashi. Our age, for one.
Are you the same age?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of up and comers trying to unseat me, right?
Oh, I see.
And so I feel it, and
you have the hair in common too.
Sure, maybe not nearly as much, but and even it's so silly. Every time Tanahashi comes to the ring and he does that "Go Ace" sign up in the corner, it's like the most beautiful thing I can imagine. It's like what a rose would be on a nice sunny day, or a rainbow over a waterfall or something. Just seeing him, the grace of that "Go Ace" sign, I could watch that all day. Honestly, just him putting his hand up in the air, putting up his hand and looking up. It's just he's mesmerizing. So whenever he loses,
you love him.
I do. I have a man crush on him for sure. He's one of those.
Is he your hero?
Shit, right now, I guess.
I feel like he is.
Right now, I guess he could be. I'm going to tell you, he's something special.
Well, he's the ace. He's the ace of everyone's heart. Right, so, once in a generation talent.
Yeah. So, Will Ospreay winning, that's cool, because Will Ospreay, he really didn't have the tournament he would have wanted to, I guess. But, he's a junior, so why not?
Yeah, he's a junior heavyweight champion. Yeah. He won the best of the Super Juniors. He had an incredible tournament there. He did wind up with a pretty decent run when it all was said and done. Yeah. And beating Hiroshi Tanahashi on the last night, that's massive for Will Ospreay, who, by the way, signed a 5-year extension, or I guess new contract with New Japan. So for the next 5 years, so 2024,
you won't see him anywhere.
Will Ospreay will be New Japan.
Strictly, eh?
I think so. He might do some stuff because they have talent exchanges, right? Like they work with Ring of Honor, they work with Rev Pro out in the States. I think they might do some stuff in Australia. So it's a little bit of... you might see him here and there, but it's always going to be on loan from New Japan.
And his first match, which he lost, was Lance Archer. Mm-hmm. He was the one that got started fast and then just didn't win again.
Archer finished dead last in A block with 6 points. Yeah. Ospreay finishing with 8 points, tied with Bad Luck Fale, Zack Sabre Jr., Sanada, Evil, Tanahashi, Kenta. They all finished with 8 points, and then Okada and Ibushi at the top with 14.
Yeah. What do you think? Maybe you didn't see much. You told me before, but Bad Luck Fale's victories, they were almost all wrestling moves.
Yeah, roll-ups and stuff. What's going on?
There was cheating involved, but then the end result was always a wrestling move.
I like it.
It was interesting. Yeah,
they make it different. It's hard to predict what's going to happen, and that's what I really like about the G1. It's a tournament where you could look at it at the beginning and take some guesses as to how these matches will go, but I don't think anyone expected Toru Yano to beat as many top names as he did.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You know, like he beat Moxley and Naito and Jay White. Like he beat everybody, you know?
That's one thing I really love. On any given day, anybody can beat anybody, which is fantastic, you know. And I was always looking for, like, because I knew Moxley wasn't going to run the table, but he had to lose, and coming in so strong, how was that going to happen? And his loss to Yano was just spectacular. I don't know if you saw it, but he for those of you who didn't see it, he basically, they were fighting outside, and Yano taped with a young lion to John Moxley, and then bashed
Shooter Umino, not just any young lion.
His young lion.
Yeah, Moxley's guy, Shota Umino, a.k.a. Shooter Umino.
Yeah, so then he like couldn't make it back to the ring in time because he
taped them together and then ran back in the ring, and they couldn't make the count. It was brilliant strategy from Toru Yano.
Brilliant. And
reminiscent a little bit of the Zack Sabre Jr. Bad Luck Fale finish when Zack kind of,
for sure,
beat him up in the crowd and then ran back in to beat the count.
Same idea. And then other Moxley's other two losses. Finally, he got a bit of a beating. Again, not as much as I would have hoped. Like I swear, when Ishii was striking him, it wasn't like Ishii strikes other guys. You know, there was like a bit of, I don't know. I feel like they held up a little bit on Moxley, less so towards the end because maybe he could take it.
Mm-hmm.
Like his match with Goto, you know, he took a beating. You know, it was good. You know, which you always like to see. That guy get punched in the face only because he's WWE. Where'd the block go?
Here's your blocks here. Whoa. Here we go. Goto is a hard hitter. And Moxley, you know, we saw a lot of John Moxley in this tournament. And I wonder if it's maybe a mistake on AEW's part to allow him to go wrestle in this tournament, given we're supposed to be excited for this big Moxley versus Kenny Omega match. We just saw Moxley kind of in a variety of different matches with a variety of different opponents, Japanese style. We've seen Moxley on a big stage wrestling a lot of guys, and I feel like the appeal now for AEW and the John Moxley match that they're trying to promote here in a couple weeks against Kenny Omega, it's not as exciting as it would have been had Moxley been kind of quiet, staying dark, and not wrestling in the G1. I appreciate the effort, but at the same time, I think maybe AEW loses a bit of the cachet value of having John Moxley appear for them. It's not exclusive, and it's kind of been there, done that, and I'm not as excited to see what he'll do. I know what he does in this type of circumstance. I just saw it.
I mean, I guess, to a certain extent, you're right. They did take a bit of shine off it, but in the other extent, I mean, it showed that he could be more than Dean Ambrose, you know, which a lot of people might not have known that. And all his matches were pretty quality, you know. So I think the appeal is still there for me anyway, because one, we didn't see him against Omega. And he had some good quality, hard-hitting matches, and the other side of it, why it had to happen, is because one of Moxley Unleashed. He does what he wants, you know, these type of things. But it's kind of real now, in the sense that you wouldn't be able to hold him to a contract like exclusive deal. I don't want an exclusive deal. He wouldn't be with AEW if they said you have to be exclusive.
I guess. But he's no longer the hottest thing in the wrestling business.
He's still pretty hot.
But is he the hottest thing going? Would you put him, like, after seeing him in the G1, okay, we know what John Moxley can do. We have seen the range of his ability outside of WWE. Would you place him as a top 10 wrestler in the world today? I would not.
No, but I didn't before either, I guess.
Well, no, definitely not. Like, he was not even top 50 before.
Yeah.
Now he's probably cracking the top 50, maybe top 25 if I'm being generous. But I've seen what he can do. And now the match with Kenny Omega, it's like, yep, all right, I'll watch it. For sure I'll watch it. But I'm more interested in other things on that pay-per-view, right? Jericho and Hangman I'm more interested in. The Bucks against the Lucha Brothers in that ladder match I'm more interested in, but I'm kind of like, hey, how come the Bucks keep wrestling the Lucha Brothers? Don't they have anything else for these fucking pay-per-views, you know? So I think that they've lost a little bit of that
They will
luster.
coming up. There's a few teams coming up. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I know they have other teams, and they're going to wrestle that private party on the second week or first week of TV. They already announced that, which they sold out. They sold out their 4 shows in October that they're doing on TV have all been sold out, I think, already. The first 2 did for sure. I don't know about the one in West Virginia, but they're doing real well, and they have other teams, Private Party, the Dark Order, right? You saw those guys recently. There's a lot of teams, but, like, goddamn, they keep giving us the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks. I think that's their best tag team match, but they're killing us with it.
Yeah, they're like trying to sell that as the 2 best teams in the world.
Well, that's fine, but shit, don't you want to build to the next one? Do you have to keep I mean, you're giving us the payoff here with the Escalera de la Muerte, the goddamn ladder match. Delay the gratification a little bit for the wrestling fan because it's not going to get better than this.
Yeah.
Like the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, this is as good as it's going to be, and you're giving it to us before you even start your TV shows.
You say it's the best it's going to be, but maybe it's not going to be the best.
Well, who are better tag teams than those guys in the AEW?
Well, you got TDT, who
are they in AEW?
Maybe. I was at a show this past Friday, and TDT wrestled Cody and MJF, and at the end the crowd was chanting "Sign them," and Cody was like, "Should I sign them? Should I sign them? These guys are the real deal. I think you'll be seeing them."
Oh,
soon, it was like a tryout match, if you will.
What does TDT stand for? I love it.
Tabarnak de Team.
That's such a great name for a tag team.
Yeah, from
La
Quebec.
Tabarnak de Team. That's one of my favorite tag team names ever.
From Quebec, it has to be the most real name.
It resonates. As a lifelong Quebecer, it really resonates with me, that name. It's good. They're like the new Quebecers for us. Well, I hope they do get signed to AEW.
I think it's very... Because they've just been so good. I don't understand why they haven't been in ROH and get them and stuff, Like, they're just really good. It's about time, We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Well, how about back in New Japan now? The G1, who was your MVP? Are you happy to see Kota Ibushi win? What do you think?
There were so many MVPs, and it changed throughout. But I have to say, almost every match to me was really, really had something to offer. I'm always a fan of Toru Yano because you never know what's going to happen. Some of his matches are really quick. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed a lot of Jeff Cobb stuff. I'm now a student of his game, his tour of the islands and his real big man slams. Hiroki Goto, again, a guy that I didn't really give a shit about. Watching him beat the shit out of Moxley, I was very, very happy. Shingo, man, that guy takes a beating.
Shingo's great.
And was it Last of the Dragon?
Yeah.
I mean, that
great move.
I love seeing him do that to people. Taichi, man, this guy.
Yeah. What a character.
He went from absolute heel all over the place, and even until the last night, he was heel. With his gimmick, with his woman and his guy. What's his name? Gato or something?
Yeah,
something like that. And
whoa! Taichi doesn't have Gato. He doesn't have a guy.
Who is he? It's a girl.
Miho Abe.
There's a guy though that's around there sometimes.
With Taichi?
Yeah. You don't remember. Anyway, I forget his name.
Yoshinobu Kanemaru?
That's it.
Talking about Kanemaru. Okay, yeah.
That's
He's
it.
in Suzuki-gun.
Okay.
He's El Desperado's tag team partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's off in there. Anyway, so all this, all this cheating and stuff, and even in his promos, he's all like, fuck everyone, basically.
Yeah.
Everyone's screwing me over. Kind of like a Jay White thing. But then on the last night, he had such a match, and it was a real back and forth smash him up, and even the announcers were saying, and you heard the fans turn, like as it's like the fans are appreciating his effort. If he would just fight like this more often, So by the end of this hard hitting match, he was pretty much a face. He like the crowd was cheering him on, even though he was a bastard the whole time,
Yeah.
Because of his effort, because of the bashing and smashing that he did, getting his ass whooped, and get like the real applause for kicking out, because he just got smashed and bashed and slammed, and he kicks out and the crowd cheers for him.
And against Ishii too, who's not holding back on you whatsoever.
Yeah, so it was a real bash fest that everyone thought, Ishii should just beat the shit out of him. Especially if you knew in advance it was going to be a bash fest, you know that that's Ishii's territory. That's not Taichi's territory.
Yeah.
And you know what? Taichi came up with that victory by taking the punishment and winning over those Japanese fans. It was really something to see.
He's got a lot going for him. He's put on a lot of size, in the past few months. His character is great. Those backstage promos that he does are great. The presentation, the wrestling. Taichi is everything you'd want in a New Japan superstar.
And, compared to Ishii, I guess Ishii's tough, but every time I see him, he looks smaller and smaller and smaller and less impressive.
Well, he's getting older, too.
Yeah,
How old is Tomohiro Ishii at this point? He's like in his 40s.
Yeah,
I think he might be
he looks
late 40s at this point.
He's graying,
Yeah.
So he was probably the least, for me, and the least impressive guy. That whole block.
Oh, he's only 43.
Hey, there's my guy, my age.
And about 5'6".
Shit, that's so short.
Hey, easy.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
He's about my size.
And the other, in that same block, even Juice Robinson, the fact that he came up at the end beating John Moxley, he had to beat him. Honestly,
of course,
to go 0-2 against him so quickly, after coming in. I still don't know. I'm sure Moxley doesn't need that title, but
yeah, when's he gonna drop that belt?
I don't know. So Juice really stepped it up as well, because he did start. His G1 wasn't that great, but then he finishes off just like Ospreay with a huge win.
Yeah, big win for Juice, big win for Ospreay. Big win for Zack Sabre Jr. Submitting Kenta there.
Yeah,
that was massive.
So in A block, you asked me about MVPs. Always Zack Sabre Jr.
He's my MVP. He's my favorite guy.
I love seeing him. The least impressive of all of them, Kenta. I mean, to me, he's just boring, man. He has nothing going on.
Apparently, the Japanese fans have been brutal on Kenta. Like in the comments for all the New Japan videos, I've seen translations of some of the things they've said. They do not like Kenta.
Really? But yeah. I thought he was a big star in Japan. It was like a big deal. They
want to send him back to 205 Live.
Yeah, shit. Like, honestly, everything he does, some kicks are nice and stuff. He had a couple of attitude things, but for the most part, it's a bland-ass character. I don't see what's going on, man. I really don't see what's going on.
They spiced it up. He joined the Bullet Club.
Yeah,
that was pretty crazy, where Shibata attacked him for joining the Bullet Club. That was nuts, seeing Shibata back in physical action.
Physical confrontation.
He got hit a little bit, too, and then they kind of stood over him, and he did Kenta sat on Shibata doing the Shibata pose with all the Bullet Club guys around him after they beat up Shibata. That was crazy. Now, do you know, I think Katsuyori Shibata is a guy that was wrestling in New Japan just before you started getting into it.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that, just as I was getting into it, he was like a star. He was my favorite guy when I started watching New Japan, but then very quickly he disappeared because he had this match with Okada where he suffered a serious brain injury, and he hasn't wrestled since, right? At Dominion, I think 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's talk that he is looking to get medically cleared to come back and wrestle, and it's a possibility. And
it
if
looks
he
like
can,
it now, yeah.
Wow, because this guy was incredible. A technician, a tremendous wrestler, strong style as well. He just had it all. He's everything you'd want in a New Japan pro wrestler. Just so good in the ring. They call him the wrestler for a reason, Legit as hell. So I was really excited, marking out big time to see Shibata take his shirt off and lay those kicks in. That hesitation drop kick on Kenta, I was like, hell yeah, get him, Shibata. I'd love to see him back.
That's one way to make Kenta interesting, because
Shibata has made him interesting.
So pretty much every time Kenta wrestles somebody, I'm more interested in the other guy. And
it seems like you like everybody in A block and in B block. You can't really nail down one MVP for the tournament. You just know you don't like Kenta.
Yeah, because everyone brings someone to the table,
Yeah, and they all bring something a little different. Yeah,
I mean, even I'd say along the lines, maybe the same thing. Although he has better matches, Sonata, I find he's a little bit boring for me. He's very generic, but
his matches are so solid. Though he's such a solid worker.
Exactly,
you know?
he's had some great matches.
Yeah,
I'm still not sold on the Paradise Lock, but
it's funny.
Yeah,
I like it.
What are we gonna do?
But he's very smooth in the ring.
Yeah,
like,
that's
technically,
it. I like watching him better. He's boring, but he still does it well. Where Kenta is boring, and I don't even want to really watch it. It's like
Kenta does a different style. He just does a lot of kicks.
Yeah,
it's like mostly kicks. And that's not really what I like. I'm more into the Zack Sabre Jr., who doesn't really strike at all in his matches, but will turn you into a pretzel and has all these cool moves.
Amazing.
Like Zack Sabre Jr. is such a good pro wrestler, and his grappling is so sound that I watch him and I get ideas from my own real submission grappling game.
Okay.
Like Zack Sabre Jr.'s grappling is so realistic that I take ideas from him and implement them in jiu-jitsu. Like, that's next level. You don't see that a lot in pro wrestling where you're like, oh, that's a cool move. I could use that for real. Most of the grappling stuff in pro wrestling, throw a rear chin lock on me and I'll choke you out very quickly, That's not going to work. But that's not going to work. Wrist locks are good, but you got to know how to apply them and stuff, right? But Zack Sabre Jr., his grappling looks real. Like, most of his stuff looks legit as hell, and how he ties you up, that's really what I like, is how he will use different parts of his body, mostly his legs, to wrap up both of your arms, and then he'll use another arm to wrap up your head. Like, he's very slick with how he stops your use of your own limbs. He really ties up the limbs very, very nicely, and I use that for real. Like, I take little tricks from him. It's crazy.
Yeah, but like New Japan has a lot of that where it looks real, and to me that's its selling point. I'll always go back to the Batista bomb versus Will Ospreay's power bomb. I mean, which one looks like there's a fight going on? Which one looked like the guy's trying to hurt the other guy? There's only one. It doesn't even compare. All their strikes.
Of course, the strikes. I mean, you look at strikes in the WWE or something like that, and then you compare them to the strikes in New Japan.
Nothing.
It's just like, man, why even bother throwing a strike in the WWE? We know nothing's connecting. We know it's not doing anything. Why bother doing it?
Because of their schedule, I guess. I don't know. Just a different brand.
Well, hit somebody.
But we've talked about it ad nauseum, I believe, on this show. I want to talk about a little bit more about A Block. One, neither of us saw Ibushi win, but hey, saw it coming. And
so I'm going to. I thought he would win A Block, though.
Yeah.
I will take credit for that. All right.
Okay, I didn't. And but like I said, every other guy has something going on that interests me, And a guy that I talked about in the beginning, Lance Archer, right, doing my phantasm almost, and there was a couple of matches where it looked like he was going to do the Phantom Menace, where he had the guy clutch from behind in a half Nelson, and he picked him up like he was going to do a Phantom Menace. He never actually did it. I wonder if he's watching old tapes of me or something. I don't know, but I really dig him. Everybody dies.
Yeah, everybody dies. Which, like, the way he says it sounds really threatening. But when you think about it, it's just quite an existential statement. It's true. Everybody does die. I mean, thank you, Lance Archer, for reminding us of our own mortality watching pro wrestling. It's trying to be an escape here from our everyday lives, but Lance Archer has to remind us that, well, everybody dies. So thanks, Lance.
He gives that phantasm, I forget what he called it, black hole or black or something he calls that phantasm. And then...
He's got the EBD claw. Everybody dies claw.
Everybody does claw, which, again, old school Texas. And he usually pins them with that, which is great. I
like that everybody has two initials, EBD. Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Lance Archer had a good tournament. A lot of people had a good tournament, and no one better than Kota Ibushi. Is this the time for Kota Ibushi? Kenny's gone. He decided to stay. The Golden Lovers split up. Ibushi wins the G1.
It looks like it
Will they make him the IWGP Heavyweight Champion?
Maybe.
He beat Okada in the tournament. Can he beat him again when everything's on the line?
It looks like it. Like we were talking a few months ago that nothing was really going on for him, Since Kenny left, he's really been kind of wallowing there, sitting around. And then the beginning of the tournament, losing. It's like, oh, it's more of that's going to continue. So we'll see. I mean, Kenny was happy for him. He put out some tweet. He was crying for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, it was a big moment for Ibushi, and that's what Ibushi stayed around for. He didn't leave New Japan. He didn't go to AEW. He didn't follow Kenny because he wanted to fulfill his destiny in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And winning the G1 is a very big part of that. So he stayed for the right reasons. Like, it was a good move to stay because they're pushing him. They're going to give him the G1 here, and maybe they'll give him the title come the new year.
Yeah, I don't know if I hope for that or whatever because I enjoy Okada as champion.
That's the problem, right? It's that Okada's such a great champion that giving it to anybody else, as deserving as a lot of guys are they better than Okada as the champion? He's such a great champion. It's like he's like the Nature Boy Ric Flair of New Japan. When Nature Boy was the champion in his prime, it didn't really make sense for anybody else to be a champion. When Steve Austin was the champion in his prime, it didn't make sense for anybody else to do it. It doesn't, as good as everybody else is, it doesn't really make sense for anyone else to have the title but Okada. And if they do have the title, just for a short stint, to give it back to Okada.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of long reigns. I want people to.
But he's had the longest reign ever, right?
Yeah.
He's already done the long reign thing.
Sure.
Maybe it's time to stack up the belts, stack up the title reigns. He's had what now? 2, 3? This is
something like that.
Second or third. So hey, how about dropping it to Suzuki at Royal Quest and then taking it right back on the next show?
You know what would be great?
Give Suzuki a little run, man.
Yeah, I would enjoy that tremendously. At his age, and he's still legit. Like people still believe him, even though he's older.
He's super believable. He's a guy that does mostly strikes. Like, he's got his grappling stuff. He's a good technical wrestler as well. He's well versed, right? He knows what he's doing on the ground in a legit way. But his matches always look real as hell.
Yeah, when he's smashing guardrails on people and his own partners.
He looks mean for real.
He's fantastic. So we'll hope he comes away with that title. And that's this weekend, right? But he won't.
No, that's next weekend. That's actually a not double or nothing. What's it called? All Out? It's like the same day as the next AEW show.
Oh, okay, so 31st or...
The 31st of August will be Royal Quest in England. Okada versus Suzuki for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Great match. We both would like to see Suzuki win, but not expecting it, right?
No. Zack Sabre at his home country.
Defending his British heavyweight title against Hiroshi Tanahashi.
He's probably going to win, unfortunately.
I think he should.
Yeah, Tanahashi. I'm sorry, buddy.
It'd be fun for Tanahashi to become the British heavyweight champion. Why not?
It wouldn't suit him. I don't know.
It'd be weird.
But I always wanted to win, so...
Tomohiro Ishii defending the never open weight title against Kenta.
Boring.
You think Kenta wins?
I don't care.
I think he might win. I think his Bullet Club dudes are going to help him win.
Exactly. His newest member of Bullet Club, his first title, I think he has to win it. Especially after a strong start in the G1 and then a slow finish. Again, he's one of those guys that started strong and then just pittered out.
I think this is kind of a fun match. Kenta's a guy who likes to kick people. He likes to hit people. Tomohiro Ishii likes to do it as well. You want to hit somebody, try hitting Ishii. These guys didn't meet up in the G1. They were in different blocks. It's not bad. It's kind of fun.
When is the Royal Quest tournament?
I have no idea.
Okay, so that's the tag match.
That's in Rev Pro Wrestling. I don't follow Rev Pro Wrestling. So there's going to be two British guys from Rev Pro
against
challenging Tangaloa and Tamatonga for the IWGP tag team titles.
Are they still ROH tag champs?
No, I think they lost it to the Briscoes.
To the Briscoes? Okay.
Yeah. Briscoes are like 50-time Ring of Honor tag team champions. What's the point? Sonata and Naito from Los Ingobernables taking on Chase Owens and Jay White.
Yeah, I always like seeing Jay White now and Naito wrestle. Man, they beat the shit out of each other. It's great reversals in those Destino and his was it Blade Runner.
I'd assume that they would wrestle at some point for the Intercontinental title that Naito holds, right?
It's one thing. His Blade Runner, man. No one kicks out of that. When you get hit with the Blade Runner, you're out.
Then you get hit with that big Destino, you're going out too. They protect the finishes in New Japan. I don't think anyone's kicked out of Will Ospreay's Stormbreaker deal.
The Stormbreaker, no, but it slowly came because the Oz Cutter they did kick out and all this stuff. I've seen people kick out of one Destino, but after a second one they don't. Jay White,
but that's kind of like the running like half Destino that he does. You know, he does like a setup Destino, and then he does the real one where he does the full rotation.
You're right.
I don't think anyone kicks out of the full rotation Destino.
No, you're right.
He hits you with that.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what the thing is. Like, you're right. You think with all the kicking out they do, but they actually do protect the finishes.
They really do.
Even though
they'll hit you with everything but the finish.
Yeah.
You know, and then when they hit you with the finish, it's done.
Yeah.
Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay. Oof, this is a good match. Eagles and Ospreay in a tag match against El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori.
Yeah, Eagles just left that Bullet Club.
Yeah, he left Bullet Club and joined Chaos.
Yeah,
that Ospreay's in. It's fun. It's a fun match.
Should be fun.
Juice Robinson and Kota Ibushi teaming up to take on Yujiro Takahashi and Hikuleo from the Bullet Club.
Yeah, whatever.
And in the opening match, it'll be some Young Lions, Ren Narita, Shooter Umino, and Ryusuke Taguchi.
I love that guy.
Taguchi is up.
Man.
Yeah, the Funky Weapon.
Yeah.
They take on Rocky Romero, Sho, and Yo Roppongi 3K.
Yeah. Rocky Romero back in the ring, eh? He's coming back.
Yeah, every once in a while.
He's been itching to get back.
Well, he had a great tournament in the Best of the Super Juniors. He was really good. So let's take a look at this Super J Cup and try to predict who will win.
Super J Cup. And folks, yes, we're also a little confused. They just had a Super Junior tournament.
Yeah.
And this is the Super J Cup. Hey, it's just more wrestling.
Well, the Best of the Super Juniors was kind of like the G1. It's a round-robin type of deal with points and blocks and all of that. This is a elimination-style tournament. There's 8 guys in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then you win, you move on to the next night where they have the quarters and the semis, and then the final night will be the finals. So the first night taking place this Thursday. Whoa, wait a second. That's tonight.
That's tonight.
Whoa, we got to put this podcast out like today, man.
Today, yeah.
Because this is happening tonight. I'm going to go back and edit this thing. As soon as we're done, I'll throw it up on the website.
And it's great. It's in Washington, so it's our time. We can...
Yeah, it's like normal time. Well, it's West Coast time, but it's still a reasonable hour.
Cool.
What time is this going to happen on New Japan World? Are we going to watch wrestling tonight? What's happening? So, first one in Tacoma, Washington. WWE went there recently, and no one showed up.
All right.
I wonder how this is going to go. The Super J Cup. Where's my live schedule here? Switch to English, New Japan World. The Super J Cup begins tonight, Thursday, August 22nd, and it is
8 p.m. Pacific.
On video on demand only. What the fuck? Oh, it's because it's probably going to be on like whatever it's called. You know that thing?
No.
You know that thing. You know what I'm talking about? Access TV. It's probably going to be on Access TV.
Okay.
And then we only get it on New Japan World after or something, which is bullshit. If I subscribe to New Japan World, I want everything.
Yeah,
Give me everything, New Japan World. Anyways, this thing starts tonight, and then it'll be all weekend. So Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday in Tacoma. Let's take a look at the opening round and figure out who wins this thing.
Amazing Red coming back.
Amazing Red, who's like a big influence to a lot of these kind of super juniors right now, and he's going to wrestle Will Ospreay. That's a big deal. Do you think he beats Ospreay?
No, he hasn't wrestled regularly in a long time. That's more of a before I retire, I'd like to wrestle Will Ospreay type deal.
Okay,
that's what it is. You know?
So you think Ospreay wins that one?
Yeah,
it should be a lot of fun though. That's kind of a dream match, right?
Yeah, both of them respect each other, and Ospreay definitely grew up watching Amazing Red. You know?
I hear a lot of guys these days talk about how big of an influence Amazing Red was.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look at the that. What do they call it now? The Canadian Destroyer?
Yeah.
That's the Code Red.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, you know, forever. And
that's like a standard move now.
Now I see it in almost every fucking match. I mean, even WWE that doesn't allow pile drivers, you see that one.
I mean, John Cena's done it.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Sho taking on Taiji Ishimori. I got Taiji in that one.
Probably.
That's a good match, though. Dragon Lee taking on Yo. I'll go with the Dragon.
Yeah.
El Phantasmo versus Robbie Eagles. I got to go with LP.
Yeah, LP with his club.
Ooh, Jonathan Gresham against Ryusuke Taguchi. I love it. I think Gresham's going to win. I want to go with Gresham. I love him.
He hasn't done very much. He's so tiny. And
Yeah.
maybe it's in the States. Maybe he'll win.
Yeah, he wrestles in Ring of Honor a lot.
Yeah.
He's an American guy. It's in the States. You got to push some Americans. Bushi taking on Caristico. Caristico, a Mexican dude. I don't know much of him. That'll be fun to see. TJP, formerly of WWE, TJ Perkins.
That's who
He takes on Clark Connors. I don't know him, but,
I
whatever.
saw him. He's like an LA Dojo guy.
Okay. Rocky Romero takes on Soberano Jr.
Romero's got that one.
Okay. And that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many guys are in this thing? Is this 8 or 16? I think it's 16.
16, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big tournament. It's great.
Who do you think wins? Will Ospreay? I mean, it's a Super Juniors tournament. Will Ospreay's in it. He's the champion. If he doesn't win, who does, right?
Let me give you three, either because they really built up Phantasmo when he came in.
Yeah.
So there's one, Dragon Lee, who's a former champion, doesn't have that belt anymore, or Will Ospreay.
Taiji Ishimori.
That's your pick?
He could win. If it's not Ospreay, it's going to be Ishimori.
He has the abs to do it.
He's got everything. Guy's so handsome. All right, speaking of handsome, when's the next time we can see you in the ring?
Me in the ring, it'll be September 1st at Battle War. I'm taking on the White Bronco, Channing Decker of Ontario fame. He's been running his mouth talking about how he's super hardcore.
Really?
He's been in the business for 5 years. He's never faced me.
White Bronco, where do you get that name from?
I don't know. The White Bronco, for me, is famous for running away from justice.
Oh, yeah?
I don't
know that.
OJ's White Bronco.
Oh, yeah. The White Bronco, the Ford Bronco. White Bronco, for me, is an album by Action Bronson that's very good.
Very good, yeah.
You know that album?
I've heard some.
Action Bronson's fantastic.
He's great.
Love that guy.
So, that's in Battle War.
He'd make a great wrestler, Action Bronson.
He would. So besides that, just keep up on Instagram, Green Phantom 514, Facebook, Green Phantom. Where can they find you, Dave Simon?
Dave Simon, MMA on all the things. RingsideReport.net. You know the deal. I'm on the things. IrreparableDamageShow.com.
I heard about that.
It's all right.
Damaged.
I'm doing a lot of damage on that one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we'll be back.
Get with the green.
When will we be back? Phantom?
I don't know.
Second Thursday of every month, right? We're on vacation this month, so we had to delay, but we gave you an extra show, so deal with it. Second Thursday of September will be September 12th.
September 12th. All right. Right around there. We'll see you again, folks. Until then, remember, get with the green.
You better get with that green.